Hi everyone, this is two-time World Poker Tour champion Jonathan Little, and I want to tell you about my training site, pokercoaching.com. Poker coaching is the place to be if you want to increase your poker skills and learn to crush the games. It's the only place to quickly increase your win rate with active learning, so you can achieve your full poker potential without having to hire an expensive coach. Right now, podcast listeners can score a free membership by visiting pokercoaching.com/cardplayer and get access to top training tools like our interactive hand quizzes, our 7, 14, and 30-day challenges, and a roster of elite coaches such as Matt Affleck, James Romero, Burt DraftGanger-Stevens, Michael Acevedo, and dozens of others. Again, that's pokercoaching.com/cardplayer to get your free membership right now.
By now, you've heard about Global Poker, one of the fastest growing online card rooms available in the US and Canada today. So what's stopping you from trying it out? Global Poker is a safe and secure social poker site that uses their own patented sweepstakes model. Signing up is easy. You can use Google, Facebook, or just an email address. You can always play for free on Global Poker, but you can also buy gold coins for additional play, which will earn sweeps coins that can be redeemed for real cash to a bank account, Skrill account, or even as a gift card. Get a free 5,000 gold coins when you sign up right now at globalpoker.com.
Poker Stories is an audio series that features casual interviews with some of the game's best players and personalities. Each episode highlights a well-known figure in the poker world and dives deep into their favorite tales both on and off the feld.
Hello and welcome to Poker Stories, a podcast brought to you by Card Player, the poker authority, and hosted by me, Julio Rodriguez. This is episode number 144, and it features Mike Holtz. When he was growing up, Mike was very good at video games, and in fact, he was so good that he was at one point ranked number 1 in World of Warcraft, and was recruited to join a traveling league called the World Series of Gaming. Unfortunately, that league did not last, and Mike was left without work and feeling a little lost, looking for the next step in life. He tried various odd jobs, one of which was illegal and landed him in jail. But that ended up being a turning point for Mike, and it wasn't long after that poker came into the picture. He moved to Las Vegas from his native Maryland with the intention of being a cash game pro, but discovered that tournaments were more profitable, specifically online, playing under the name BrockLesnar. In 2021, he won a WSOP Circuit ring, and at the end of the year was crowned the WSOP.com Player of the Year. And then last October, in the WSOP Online Series, Mike won the Lucky Sevens event for his first gold bracelet. Anyway, that is enough intro. Here is my conversation with Mike Holtz. I am here with the one and only Mike Holtz. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Great. Thank you for inviting me to your home so we could discuss some poker and maybe some other fun stuff that came before.
Sure, yeah.
In this podcast, we go back to the beginning. We can't just go right to your accomplishments. So let's go to, was it Ocean City, Maryland, or?
Yeah, it's where I grew up, Ocean City, Maryland.
You were born there?
No, born in Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
I moved.
Family were politicians?
Obviously, yeah. No, real estate.
The only job there.
Yeah, right. That's literally it. There's nothing else. No, real estate agents, and my dad was in construction. Yeah, we moved to Ocean City when I was 10 from like the Silver Spring, Washington, D.C. area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were you getting into back then?
When I was 10, probably like, I don't know, like Sonic the Hedgehog, a little bit of elementary school.
This would have been the year 2000?
Yeah, it seems right, yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were a gamer.
Big gamer, always. From when I was young, my mom, she always tells me a story. I don't know about the age being accurate, but she always would tell me, like, when I was 3 years old, she'd sit me down in front of the TV and we'd play Mega Bomberman 2-player. And she said I was always so much better than her. We played 2-player Super Mario Brothers 3 and stuff like that. So I can literally remember sitting in front of my Magnavox TV when I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6, and putting a VHS in and clicking the record button and literally recording my Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wow.
Me playing to watch backwards later on and be like, wow, I'm so good. Like,
yeah, you also need the game film to study.
Yeah, exactly. You got oh my God, how am I going to get the rings?
That was cool that Mom played. I don't think my mom ever picked up my Nintendo controller.
Yeah, my mom was into games, gambling. She likes to get down.
Gambling?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, she likes a little blackjack here and there,
Was this before or after you found the poker?
Way
world?
before.
Okay.
She's the one that taught me how to play poker. The first game I ever played was a game called Midnight Baseball. You ever heard of that?
No.
I couldn't tell you how to play. I'm sure it was like 12 card stud with like we played it like heads up in her. We were in the hotel room in Atlantic City at the Hilton back when it was a Hilton. I still remember this. We played in this little corner desk. Must have been like 6 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
She taught me Midnight Baseball and like some stud and some draw variants and things like that.
She's like, 15 years from now, you'll be allowed to go downstairs and do this.
Exactly. yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally. Yeah. 13 years later, 12 years later, I was taking her credit card and playing on full tilt. So, yeah.
Oh, we're not there yet. Okay, back to gaming. Yeah. You discovered you were great at gaming.
Yeah, pretty good. Not bad. I always kick my friend's ass and everything, and yeah, it's pretty good at video games for sure. Just something that I just like naturally just happen to be good at.
Were you one of those kids that had the latest system always beating games in a week for turning into Blockbuster?
Yeah, I remember Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Underground, I think it was. It was like the 4th or 5th one that came out. It came out, and the first day it came out, I beat it on Sick, which was like the hardest mode. And I went to school the next day or 2 days later, whenever, maybe it was the weekend. And I went back there and I was like, oh, yo, you guys beat Tony Hawk's, it's crazy. And all my friends had gotten the game.
Yeah.
But they all were like, what the hell, dude?
No.
Like, what are you talking about?
We're still on level 3.
Yeah, you beat the game on Sick? Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, so I've always, it's just, games have always been my thing.
Okay, and then when did Warcraft come into it?
Oh, gosh. So let's see. So I skateboarded for a while, actually. There was like a period of time before this. My cousin Kyle, I'd gone over to his house when I was maybe, 12, something like that, and I saw him playing Diablo 2 on computer. Are you familiar with Diablo 2 at all?
It's a first-person shooter, right?
No, it's like a, how do you even describe this? It's like a, how do I describe this?
I used to assume it was like a Doom-type game. But
No, it's not like Doom. It's like, I want to say platform. It's not platform. Why can I not think of the name of what type of game it is?
RPG.
Yeah, it's an RPG.
There you go.
That's the name. Perfect. Yeah, it's an RPG. Yeah.
I wonder why you can't remember that.
Yeah, I can't figure out why. I saw him playing that, and then I got hooked to that. I made my mom get me a computer so I could play Diablo 2, and then that turned into, that game's by Blizzard Entertainment, which is a really popular company, or was at the time. And then from Diablo 2, I went to their other game, Warcraft 3. And then from Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft came out. And as soon as that came out, I bridged to that. And that's when I, started playing pretty hardcore.
What's hardcore? Like 20 hours a day?
So Warcraft 3, I would play...
in a Coke bottle?
Yeah, boy, I've never done that cough. Let's see, maybe 2 hours a day for Warcraft 3, I was skateboarding all the time. Like, I'd go out, when I get home from school, I'd skateboard with my friends. It was a big skateboarding culture. And I broke my ankle, I broke my foot pretty bad, and then that's when...
Well, how'd you do it? What was the trick?
It was like kick-flipping a 3-stair or something stupid.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like really stupid.
How bad was it? Like how far? Someone have to carry you to a car? Like
but I knew there was when I landed, the second my foot hit, I just went. I broke my ankle. I can remember. Literally, it was as I landed, I just went broke my ankle.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it was I was the most positive possible. But I walked home or whatever. Yeah, I was. I walked home.
What a soldier.
So I walked home to Warcraft 3, and then briefly after that, World of Warcraft came out, and then that's when I was like, wow, I don't think I need anything else besides this game and pizza for a while. So your boy got a little fat.
You were an indoor kid, huh?
I was an indoor kid, yeah. I got really fat, and all my friends who skateboarded would come to my house and be like, yo, get out of the house. What are you doing? And I'd be like, dog, don't you see that I'm raiding Anixia right now? What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
How bad was his addiction?
My addiction?
Yeah.
Maximum bad. Crack. People addicted to crack, equal levels, for sure, 100%.
You would have raged if somebody took away your system.
Yeah, my mom took away my system a few times, and I raged. yeah.
There's like viral videos on the internet of this happening.
Yeah, but none of them from me, of course. I mean, I wasn't throwing shit, but you really cried a little bit. I got upset. Yeah, I was pretty addicted.
But you were also very good.
Yeah, I was like the best in the world. It was ridiculous.
So how did they determine that? Like there was like a world ranking system or something?
So the way it worked was this, right? There was all these servers. So if you played the game, you were on a server. So you picked a server. They all had different names: Bleeding Hollow, Tichondrius, whatever the name is.
Are they like sorted by what system you're playing on, or like skill?
No, they're all PC. Everything's PC. There is no Xbox or anything. But some of them are PvE, which is players versus environment, which is just like you fight monsters, you don't really fight players, and the other ones are PvP, which is what I played on, player versus player. Mm-hmm. So it was more of it's more skillful player versus player, obviously, because it's not a scripted encounter. So what I was best at was this thing called Arena. So it was like the competitive player versus player format at the time. They had like 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, 5 versus 5, and the way that they determined who was the best was just basically, after the first season of Arena, everyone who was good all transferred to one battle group, which is a group of servers who could all play each other. There's like 160 servers, there's like 15 battle groups, 16 battle groups, whatever it was. And everyone who was good was in Battle Group 9, BG9. And so whenever we moved over there, there was a time in BG9 where I was number 1 at 2v2, 3v3, and 5v5 all at the same time. And it wasn't a thing where every single person said I was the best, but it was like a pretty
There was a debate.
Yeah, there was certainly a debate. There were some other really good players, but
some poker players back in the day, right?
Yeah, there's a few. I'm trying to think who I know that's famous that played.
Well, Elke didn't play Warcraft, right? Elke played
he's StarCraft. Elke was StarCraft. I'm trying to think who played World of Warcraft. Dave Chappelle played World of Warcraft. I played with Sean Fanning, the guy that invented Napster. He was he was my best friend online.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like he was I did it professionally. I played World of Warcraft professionally. I played World Series of Video Gaming. So basically, Napster, Sean Fanning, that was his character. His name was Napster. He had a program called Rupture, and Rupture was like supposed to be the next MySpace or Facebook of video gaming, right? You could go on there, you could see how many hours played, you could see what character somebody played, and like I beta tested it. It was terrible. Like it was it was cool, but it was like no one really gave a shit. You know what I mean? We were all nerds. Like it's not, so. He sponsored us. We were Team Rupture, and we went and played World Series of Video Gaming. Flew around the world. Went to Toronto. Went to Kentucky, Dallas, and around the world. We flew around the continental United States. We were supposed to fly to London, and then we were supposed to go to DreamHack in Sweden, but World Series of Video Gaming lost its funding, so it canceled the last 2 events.
They were like that. What was a Kentucky trip? A Kentucky trip bottomed out.
Oh, the Louisville, Kentucky trip. Yeah. No, so that was the first trip. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know, but it seemed because World of Warcraft sucks as a spectator sport. Like as far as esports go, if World of Warcraft was a good esport, if it could be good, I 100% would have been playing World of Warcraft, and I probably would have become famous just off that. But esports. They have to be fun to watch. Like, and even me being at the top of the game in World of Warcraft, when I played, it was like I would watch the other matches from other teams, and I'd be like, it's kind of hard to know what's going on. Like it just it's so convoluted. It's not a viewer friendly game.
The game wasn't designed for that reason.
Correct. Yeah.
Nowadays they're kind of thinking about that. Though.
Yeah, I would assume they are. I'm not sure. I haven't played any of the newer versions in some time.
If anybody hears any growling in the background, that's Mike's second dog, who's still warming up to me, but that's okay.
She's a good girl.
Okay, so that goes bust, and do you like pick up a new game, or do you?
So that went bust. They lost funding
because you were identifying as a gamer back then.
Yeah, no. So then, no, I didn't pick up a different game. Actually, it's interesting. I ended up. I ended up going back to skateboarding, hanging out with friends more, and I actually had a profound experience with mushrooms that made me decide at this point At this point, I was 350 pounds. So I gained
Oh wow, you got real big.
Yeah, I was super fat. So I literally was. I'm being attacked by dogs right now. It's pretty vicious. What was I saying? Guys, relax. You want me to put
It's all good.
outside?
It's all good. We can wait till they go back. So you want me back? Come over here.
Relax. I gotta give her something to. Let me just give her a package thing.
Mushroom story to be continued.
There you go. Tease the doggies with the treats.
Okay. So your profound experience.
Okay, yeah. So I took mushrooms with with one of my buddies, and what I got out of that was that being 350 pounds was unacceptable, and so I realized that I had to lose weight. So literally the next day I went on South Beach diet, and I lost like 100 pounds in a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have discipline. If you stick to something.
I am capable of discipline. I am capable of discipline.
Well, you needed to win Player of the Year,
right?
Which we'll get to soon.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. No, I'm not always disciplined. Like, let's be real here, you know. But I am capable of extreme discipline if I put my mind to one thing only for a long time. Okay. Now that I think about it, as you say that, yeah, it's probably something I've done a few times to pretty good outcomes.
So you're 18 years old.
Yep.
Your gaming league has just gone away.
Yep.
College?
I went to community college to this place called Warwick. It's just like a community college near me, and yeah, I just fucked off the entire time.
Yeah.
I sold weed. I just smoked a bunch of bud. Got some odd jobs. I worked as a bouncer in an under 21 club.
Bouncer in an under 21 club.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So it's exactly as it sounds. It's not. There's fights. There is fights all the time. It's pretty annoying. And you got to drag people out, but it's more of you're trying to keep the people who are over 21 out. You know, there's a shocking amount, and now thinking about it now, I didn't realize really what was going on at the time. But there'd be a lot of people who were 22, 25,
yeah, that's
30.
creepy.
Yeah, and they'd come in, they'd try to sneak you $100 and be like, "Yo, let me get in," and I'd have to be like, "No."
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was just following the rules. I wasn't really thinking about how outlandishly creepy these humans were.
I remember going to underage clubs and they weren't serving alcohol, so how do we?
Oh yeah, they had Red Bull. My sister
had to sneak.
My sister was the bartender. She was selling them Red Bulls and Monsters, slinging them. Yeah, I worked as I restocked shelves overnight. What else should I do?
I do have a question on the podcast. What was the worst job you ever had before poker? So
the worst job I ever had before poker. What was the worst job? Oh, easy. DocPrep.net. I worked at this place called DocPrep.net, and it was literally it had to be a scam. It was some sort of Obama program where they did something with your mortgages. It wasn't refinancing, it was something. And it was this program, and my mom was the real estate agent for the building. She leased them the building, and so whenever they came in, she was like, "My good for nothing son, got to get him a job." My mom sounds nothing like that, and so it's literally I don't know who that is, but so I got this job working for them, but it was cold calling people, asking them to refinance. So basically, I spent a month on the phone with incredibly religious zealots who just wanted to convert me to their religions instead of me selling them the product. And the whole thing was DocPrep.net. The rule was you couldn't hang up. You know what I mean? You couldn't hang up on the customer. So I just had to list. I literally go to work and it'd be I'd have to call Clarence from Kentucky, and he would tell me about why I should devote my life to being a Mormon for 8 hours. And then I made no money. I was there for a month. I made $0. It was all commission. I literally remember. I remember I got caught by my boss. It was a month in. I was only going there at that point just so my mom wasn't off. It was just she'd leave me alone basically. And I was studying poker. I was looking at like, I don't even know, maybe like an upswing strategy guide or some sort of strategy guide from like, man, way back in the day. I don't even think upswing existed. But it was like I was looking at some rudimentary thing and my boss came up behind me and was like, "What are you doing, man? This is why you're not making any money."
Yeah, this is why.
You know, I was just thinking to myself, like, dog, like I don't even know what I'm like I don't know what I'm doing here. So I literally got up and left. That was the worst job I ever had by far, for sure.
That sounds miserable. Just being on the phone doing anything, but like trying to pitch cold call mortgages or refinances or whatever. No, thank you.
Yeah, I like customer service. I like talking to people. I worked as a hotel manager. That's what I stopped going to Warwick. I went back for hotel and motel management. I went back and I was working in a place called Park Place Hotel, which was a decent job for a while. Like I ended up getting caught selling weed, so I had to get a job to get on work release out of jail.
How was jail? Well, first, what was the incident that got you caught?
I was just selling weed. I just like got a bunch of weed from California and apparently, and I didn't know this, but that's illegal. In Maryland in 2010, if you have pounds of marijuana and the police find it, they don't let you keep it, and then they throw you behind bars. It's wild.
How frustrating is it to see it decriminalized, and you know what I mean? And
it's great.
Well, I was given that you got in trouble for it. And
I mean, it's frustrating knowing that I got in trouble, but like I do think, unfortunately, that somehow might have shaped my life into some way of success. Like I might have like you know the game Plinko on Price is Right.
Yeah.
You like drop the thing. Like I think I Plinko'd my way into the money spot somehow.
To the center slot.
Yeah, like somehow like I had to hit the jail slot on the. You know what I mean? Like it had to, and eventually it just got here. And this, to me, this seems optimal. You know, like I feel like I've done very well for my skill set.
Yeah, I like to think of myself like there were like 100 different outcomes given after I was born, and I'm in the top 10%.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. Like I feel, yeah. I mean, I was not to get off track, but like I felt like a disappointment my entire life up until like 2 years ago, and now I'm like the fucking hero.
Really? Even that long?
Oh, I mean, before, right? Like literally. 2 months into Player of the Year, I still, like, I was getting phone calls from, 6 months into Player of the Year, I was getting phone calls from family members being like, you know, oh, what are you doing, you know, like, and then whenever it came and I was like, I'm about to be the Player of the Year for World Series of Poker Online in Nevada. Like, that's the hub, right? I mean, if you were to think, like, where's the hub of poker, it's obviously going to be Vegas.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever that happened, that's when my family was all of a sudden like, we always knew. None of my family members sound anything like my impressions, by the way. We always knew that you had it in you.
I'm trying to figure out what this doesn't sound like Maryland at all.
No, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's okay, Rue. Yes.
Okay, so I don't want to keep harping on the jail thing, but it's interesting to me. What was it like getting arrested? Was it like an undercover situation or somebody just roll up?
Yeah, no, somebody snitched. This kid snitched.
I hope he got stitches.
No, he never got stitches. He got like a piece of pizza thrown at him once, and like there might have been a pitcher of beer or two dumped on his head at a bar. But no, he didn't get stitches, unfortunately. But to be fair, the kid was like he was a nice kid that just got caught up in a dumb situation. Like I'm sure they caught him with probably like a gram of weed and scared him into telling, and so. We were getting weed mailed to us from California, and I don't know what to do here with the dogs. Here you go. I don't know if that's going to work. Well, it did somehow. I don't know. I'm totally won't. I winged that really hard.
That was good. That was genius improvising.
I can't believe that worked. That's impressive. Yeah. So jail. Yeah. So getting arrested sucked. They pulled us over. I had just sold a pound of weed to somebody. They watched it happen, and they didn't follow the person I sold the pound of weed to because they didn't realize I sold a pound of weed to them. Yeah. So like I sold them a pound, and then I had a few ounces with me in a trash bag, and I threw that in the trunk of the car I got in, and then they followed me and they pulled us over. But yeah, it was actually crazy. My lawyer beat the case in court like right away. I thought I was going to jail for 6 months. Like a year before I actually did. And my lawyer went in there and he brought every police officer on the stage and he just eviscerated them. Yeah. It was hilarious.
What was your probable cause?
Yeah, well, it was just like, what? So you saw him with a trash bag and you pulled him over? He's like, I don't know about you, but trash bags are illegal where I come from. You know what I mean? He's like, I keep other things other than drugs in there. You ever keep things other than drugs in your trash bag, officer? And it was fantastic. The judge and him were making jokes. So I get off. The state appeals my case the next day, which is the first time in Maryland or in Worcester County history that anyone's had under 100 pounds of marijuana case appealed. Yeah. So they appeal it. You just lose immediately. If the state appeals goes to the appellate court, you don't get a lawyer. They just mail you a thing 9 months later and just say you lose.
So you can say, we made a mistake. Sorry.
Turns
out you actually are guilty.
Yeah. Sir, it appears you thought you were innocent. What an error. So I go to jail then. But at this point, I'd gotten the job at Park Place Hotel. So I was working as a front desk manager, and I was doing well, and I had all these reputable people in town who vouched for me, because I'd like to think that I'm like a, personable person, and I'm not your standard drug dealer, at this point. Like, I was more of the friendly man's drug dealer, you know what I mean?
Well, this was a plant. This wasn't meth.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't. Yes. Yeah. I was. It was a plant. Yeah. It was.
This is a plant that we all know and love, and is legal in many states now.
Yes, that's correct, including Maryland. So, yeah, went to jail. That sucked. So
they would let you out every day.
So I said I was on work release, but it wasn't. I actually ended up doing weekends. So I was actually sick. Okay. So I did weekends. So I'd go in. I'd work the work week, and then Friday, I would go in at like 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. and then I'd get out Sunday at like 6 p.m. and it counted as 2 days. Or wait, no, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, for all Friday, all Saturday. Yeah, it was either 2 or 3 days, whatever it was. And then so I only did 30 days. So with good behavior, it was like 8 weekends or something like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad. Like it was like, there were some people in there who sucked, but like at the time I was lifting weights. I was like pretty jacked and like I was pretty athletic and I knew everybody in the area. Like I knew a lot of people in there. They were like my boys. So like, yeah, I didn't have any issues. Okay. It wasn't like it
wasn't like as scary as TV made it out to be.
No, like I walked in and they were like fresh meat and I was like, shut up. Like I was like, I know you, Devontae. Get out of here.
That's a stereotype right there.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, Mike, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? They got you. Like,
yeah, especially when they find out what you did, they're just like, oh, come on, leave him alone.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
come on.
Well, if anything, I met people in there where it was like I easily could have just gone out and just sold more weeds. Like it was like everybody.
That's the other thing. Did you feel rehabilitated?
No. What a joke. Yeah, no, they don't rehabilitate anyone in jail.
Exactly. They just make you more connections, if anything.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. Everybody goes into jail and then they come out as a better criminal. I mean, that's just the truth. Like it's crazy.
I like this improv you're doing. Okay, so you get out. And this crew at the hotel introduces you to poker?
Oh yeah, right. So I had already played poker before this.
Right, with Mom.
Yeah. But I got out of high school. My buddy Brad, he played poker. His dad was like a gambler. His dad liked to play like these $10 home games, $20 home games with friends, $40 home games, whatever it was. And Brad taught our friend group how to play. And so we would sit around a table that was about half the size of the table we're on right now. And we play 8-handed poker, 9-handed, 10-handed poker. It's insane. And we play there like every other night for like, we played 25 cent, 50 cent. And I loved it. You know what I mean? Like I was like, this is sick, and I was doing well, $10 a night or whatever, $15 a night, but hanging with the boys, it was fun. That's where I learned, originally. And then I had played some Full Tilt, some Poker Stars online, under my mom's credit card, my mom's name on there. I played a couple times like so Maryland's right next to Delaware. They're like literally Ocean City, Maryland is a 10-minute drive from Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
What's it called, Delaware Downs or
Dover Downs?
Dover Downs.
So Dover Downs is like an hour and a half away, but that's not. I haven't played. At this point, I'd never played there. I would play it. They had charity poker rooms right across the line where you could only buy in maximum of 150 a night. That was it. They cut you off after that, and it was 1-2, like 7 cap rake or something. It was ridiculously. Wow. It was really bad. But so I played in those, and I always was better than most people, but like I wasn't making a crazy amount of money. You know what I mean? And then one day I was working at the front desk. It was after the work release stuff. It was after I'd gotten out of jail, and in the front desk there is To the left, there's a jewelry store. Like you look over from behind the front desk, and there's a jewelry store right there. The customers can walk in. It's called Park Place Jewelers. There's a guy named Todd Ferrante, who's the owner. He's a good friend of mine now. And at the time, he'd come outside and we'd talk fantasy football. And he'd always be asking me questions about fantasy. He knew I was into it. And one night he was like, "Listen, off chance, you don't play poker, do you?" And I was like, I dabbled. And I'd heard that they had played. Todd's, he owns a jewelry store. He's, wealthy businessman. You know what I mean? Great guy, and he plays a game with a bunch of wealthy businessmen. You know what I mean? Or well-off businessmen. There's like a school teacher in the game. There's some other people, but everyone, is generally, doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So I'd heard about this game, and I thought it was a bunch of crushers. Like I thought these guys were going to eat me alive. Because these guys, I remember going to the VFW 30 minutes from my house, and I would play a $40 tournament there, and they'd be playing 5-10 at one of these circular tables self-dealing, and they're all older, and I just assumed they were really good. They talked a big game.
Right.
And, so not everyone, but the two tables cross paths, what
especially
I mean?
when you're coming up, you think anybody at 5'10", it must be crushing, right?
Oh my God.
You don't even realize these people have that much disposable income.
Yeah, you have no idea, literally. Yeah, I just thought if you were playing 2-5, you were a professional for sure, right? You had to be. So he invites me to the game. I decide to play. I was dating my wife at the time, and we talked about it. And I talked to my boss Carol, and she owned the hotel, and she was like, these guys are serious, Mike. You don't want to go in there and lose a bunch of money. So I go in there, I win like $1,000 the first night. And I was like, oh, this is a fantastic game. Not only, and I don't want to make it seem like I just went in there and just I wasn't going in there just to take their money. Like I literally, it's funny, I like every guy in that game. They were all sick dudes. I'm friends with all of them today. But yeah, I was obviously better than everybody. So I did pretty well in that game. And that's really where things started taking off. Then I started going up with my boss. So one of the guys in the game's name is Jay Toston. He's insanely rich, hundreds of millions of dollars. He needed an executive assistant. He owned restaurants in the area, a bunch of candy stores. He owned a bunch of land, and he needed someone who was an assistant. He basically just paid me money just to help him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We
would talk poker. We'd go and eat lunch every day. I'd help him with all his computer stuff. And so he was the one, we would drive up to Dover Downs on the clock together. I'd be on the clock, I'd drive his Benz, the nicest new Benz, and I'd drive it up to Dover, and we'd go and play for 5 or 6 hours, and then I'd drive back. And then, we did a lot of that. So I would go up myself, and I always played cash. That's how I started, was playing cash.
Yeah.
And I just grinded Dover for a while, and then eventually I chopped the Delaware Poker State Championship. And that's when I moved to Vegas.
Okay. But when you moved to Vegas as a live player or an online player?
Live cash.
Okay.
In my mind, I was the most trash. I'd played online a few times. I played on Bet Online. I played on Poker Stars and Full Tilt, obviously. But, it's such a different game 15 years ago, 13 years ago, whenever that was.
Especially after Black Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. But even before Black Friday, the poker that I was playing, the skill level,
right?
It's just it's not even the same game.
Okay.
It's checkers to
chess. That's interesting. I just kind of assumed you were an online player from the start, but
no. So when I played early on, I played online, but when I'm playing $5 sit and goes. You know what I mean? And I'm not profitable. I've binked a $1 Rush. Rush was on Full Tilt. It was the same thing as Zoom. You know what I mean? So I binked a $1 or maybe it was even 50-cent Rush tournament. There was tens of thousands of people in it and rebuys and add-ons.
Wow.
And I final tabled. I got ninth for $2,600, and it was I was holy shit. I remember I jammed tens under the gun for I don't even want to know how many big blinds. I got called by jacks, and then we immediately, I guess there was a deal button. We made a deal, and we just chopped the 9
That's
of us
crazy.
or 8 of us, whatever it was. Yeah, and that was the only time I'd done well playing online poker before 3 years ago.
It's weird what hands stick with you, just for $2,600.
Yeah, sure, of course. Wild that I still remember that. But I think that's I think that's a thing in my as far as let me improvise. For the listeners at home, I'm pouring green tea on the ground for my dog so that she doesn't bark. I think that's a normal thing that most people do. Please,
it's working great.
Yeah, it's not.
How about it's tiled?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's tiled. If
it was carpet, you'd be really,
Yeah, that wouldn't.
Committed to the podcast.
Yeah. Hey, I'm committed, baby. So wait, where were we?
You moved to Vegas to be a cash grinder.
Right. So I moved to Vegas to be a cash grinder, like $50,000.
What year was this?
I think it was 17. When was the Mandalay Bay shooting? It was 2 days after that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because that was October, so that might have been 2016, late October.
Yeah, I think 2016, late October makes sense, but it could have been 2017. I don't know why I always forget this. But that's when I moved to Vegas with the idea of playing cash at the Wynn professionally every day, which went terribly.
October 2017.
2017. Okay, so yeah, that's when I moved out here. I got in the car I think the day of the Pulse nightclub shooting, or not Pulse, the Mandalay Bay, or like maybe it was like the day before, and then we got here 2 days afterwards, and it was like everyone's just like, "What are you doing? Like you're out of your mind."
Yeah.
So yeah, I moved here. The plan was to play 2-5, the 1500 cap at the Wynn. But that's a tough game, and to be honest, I wasn't studying, and it was like right when solvers were becoming a thing, and like I don't know, I could make a ton of excuses, but I just didn't do well. Whatever I like broke even for several months, and you can't. My wife was going to college at the time, so it wasn't like we had two incomes. So yeah, I fell in bad times. Like I stopped playing poker. Started hustling here and there to do whatever you can to make cash. And yeah, man, I really luck boxed this online thing because it was like during COVID, during 2020, I played a tournament, like I binked something, and I went on like a run where I won like $50K in a month. Yeah. And that's what propelled me to where I am today, was that I had disposable income again. And then I started playing app games, and I was doing really well in these app games, playing cash actually. But these people were terrible.
The COVID app games were crazy.
Oh, insane! I mean, it was just like I'm playing with 30 people from California, and they're all stuck in their house, or all wealthy. Like there was one game we had with a bunch of Indian dudes who were all stuck in their houses too, and like man, they really made a decent amount of money. And then my buddy Skylar at the beginning of 2021, he called me up and he was like, dude, the games with WSOP are so soft. Like, I just made, 20K or 17K, whatever it was, 25K. I can't remember the number. But he's like, I just made all this money and I'm going on vacation. Like, I bet you can't, beat that within a week. And I was like, dog, I'll see you in a week. And it was like 3 days later, I called him and I was like, you got some catching up to do, bro. And then I remembered that WSOP did a Player of the Year. Like I like it just like happened. I'd been playing every day and doing well, and I didn't have anything else to do. And it was like I looked it up, and it was like I was in second by like a few points. I was like, holy shit! Could I win Player of the Year? Like, let's see what happens, And I just never stopped losing.
It was really no sweat either, right? Like
no, I smashed. I just got there was a slight sweat. Like in the middle, there was a little sweat. I got banned from WSOP.com for 10 days over some bullshit. They basically were like, you won too much money, so we're going to investigate you, send us your taxes. And then it took them 10 days to look over 7 pages of taxes. That took me 10 minutes. Like, it was nonsense. They banned me during the circuit, so it's when you get the most points. But then they announced the bracelet events, that they were doing all the bracelet events. And the bracelet events are worth, like, I can't remember how much, but at least double as much as the circuits are. And so I knew that Player of the Year was going to come down to the bracelet events, the month and a half of everyday bracelets online. And I started that, like to give you an idea, like a good gap between first and second. Like I felt comfortable with like a 4,000 or 5,000 point gap. Like that was a comfortable lead. Second place would have to win every tournament one day, and then every tournament the next day to catch me, to give you an idea of how much a cushion 5K is. I mean, and it would have to be like it would even more than that.
Realistically, it's like a week's worth of lead.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
More, really, yeah, because if you think about it, like, yeah, it's almost like, man, like 5K a month is a good amount of points. Because it'd be 60K, yeah. I can't remember what I ended with. But I was able at the end of the Player of the Year race, at the end of the bracelet events, I had done so well in those that I was 20,000 points ahead.
You finished at 84,000.
84K, yeah. So, and that's with me taking a couple months off. So I took 2 months off for the live series because I was so far ahead.
Yeah, so you finished with 84,000 to win Player of the Year. Krista Gifford, otherwise known as Pollux, finished with 69,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 15K.
And that's with me
No
chilling.
doubter.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Like, I could have gone 100 easy.
So what's
Maybe
the
not
volume?
easy, but...
What does your day look like when you're doing this?
Oh, it's wake up, play poker. Well, it's like literally it was wake up, walk dog, play poker. Yeah, that was the order. Yeah. It was like literally I wake up, I look at the time, and then I decipher, do I have time to go to the gym or not? That's all. That was usually the first question. Do I have time to drink pre-workout, drive 2 minutes to the gym, spend an hour there? If I don't, it's playtime. But normally I did. So I would gym, and then I would go there. Then it would just be me getting high all day and eating Uber Eats and playing poker. Yeah.
How many tables at once?
On average, I'd say like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Less than you'd think.
Yeah, well, I mean, like back in the day, some people were 30 tabling and crazy stuff.
People still do that. You can do it with volume on different sites, but just WSOP.com is difficult.
Yeah.
Because like they'll have, so for Player of the Year, like the points, the way it works is like a $500 tournament is worth like literally like 25 times as much. If not, yeah, it's like 25 times as much as a $100 tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, so and it's like a 500's worth like 15 times as much as a 250. Like the way that it works is it's anything $4.99 plus. I think I can't remember the exact. You get like a 25x multiplier, and then 250. It's like anything between $2.49 and $4.99. You get like a 5x. It's like it's crazy. It's like a humongous difference.
So you could do really well in the hundreds and stuff, but you have to hit some 500s every
Yeah,
day.
so my point of that was that the reason I'm 6 and 7 tabling is just because I didn't need to play the small stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they mean nothing. Like unless it's close. Like I could play. I could win the $5 tournament nightly every day for the entire year, and it might not equal 2,000 points. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's.
But that being said, I did see you slumming it sometimes down.
I
down
think-
with me in the lower tournaments.
Now, is that the $30 rebuy and add-on?
Maybe.
That's not a slum. The 30 rebuy and add-on is a fire tournament.
Yeah.
Tournament's so good. It's really good. It's fantastic. The turbo deep stack one, right? Now something. Don't get it twisted. I'd play the $50 daily freeze out too. But here's the thing: is that my ROI in that tournament is so bad. I use it. I like to have a tournament.
Your spew tournament?
Yeah, I got a spew tournament. I have I got a bad urge, man. I can't. I just want to, I just want to do it.
Yeah, do it in that one over there.
I just want to put the chips in.
You put it in the right corner. You're like,
Yeah, exactly. Bottom right corner, top right corner, one of the two. I'm spewing, baby. You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%. That's a thing. Like, yeah. It's legit.
That works. Yeah, then you can play, discipline on the other tables and.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for me. I don't know if I'd recommend it for anybody else, but yeah, that was my strategy for a little bit there. I did terrible in the 50, but I played it all the time. Every day I play the 50, I'm always like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just gonna lose all my money in this. So
let's talk about playing style. Are you Mr. Robot Solvers guy? I also heard an interview. You said you play very exploitatively.
Yeah. I think this is the thing that I think the vast majority of professional poker players get wrong is when they say, oh, I mean, in 99.9%. Like when you talk about GTO in poker, what everyone means is GTO versus GTO, meaning they want to play a non-exploitable style, right? Playing actual GTO is just playing the way to get the most money. So like, I'll give you an example. You and I play rock, paper, scissors. A robot against a robot will always play 33.33333 repeating rock, paper, and scissors, right? 33%. We'll play in equal thirds.
The most balanced you could be.
Right. But if you're playing against me and I'm playing 100% rock and you played that strategy, it would be moronic.
Yeah.
The GTO strategy to playing against 100% rock would be to play 100% paper. But that might not actually be the GTO strategy. The GTO strategy might actually be to play 75% paper and 25% scissors to lose on purpose.
To keep him
playing his strategy.
Right.
So just an example, like I try to play the strategy that gets me the most money. So whenever I think of a decision, I think to myself, okay, what does solver like to do in this spot? Okay? And a lot of times when people say, what does a solver like to do? They mean, what does a solver like to do against same thing against a solver's range. But there's a thing with solvers called node locking, where you can take a person's range and you can lock it to what you think it is. So what I'm doing when I'm playing live or whatever, obviously you don't have access to these unless you're cheating.
Yeah.
What I do is I try to think to myself, I try to node lock that person and figure out what that output would be, and then I try to exploit that as much as I can. So I'm basically trying to figure out what does the solver like to do, and then I'm trying to think how is this person deviating from that, and how can I exploit that?
And you believe in live reads?
Oh yeah.
I've talked to some players of the German variety who strictly go by the numbers. Whatever the numbers say, they do them. And they refuse to even consider live reads because they believe humans are imperfect and can't interpret that data well enough to adjust. Do you agree?
To an extent, yes, and to an extent, no. So I'm assuming said Germans are playing 10Ks plus. Mm-hmm. So in a 10K plus, what you'll find is that, most people are not going to have tells. Like, most people in a 10K plus, they're not on their phone. They're not, they know the bet sizings. Now, there will be some fish in these events, and they will have some tells. But the tells are less of the, he twisted an Oreo, and more of he bet 21K instead of 20K. You know what I mean? He added an extra one for some reason.
Yeah.
Or the speed of the bet, you know what I mean? Like, that's more of the things that I look for in the terms. I mean, I'm playing a lot of like 1100s live, 1600s, 800s. Even I'll play a 600 or 400 if that's all that's available in town. So, and when you play those, you can just look at people, and just sometimes it's like you don't even need any training. You just can look and just be like, okay, if I showed you a video right now of a person when they have a hand and when they don't, it's, like even someone who doesn't play poker could figure out more than a 50% clip. That, You know what I mean? Like, it's people do crazy things. I mean, like some people, like you'll be playing. Sometimes you'll just hear someone breathing, and you'll look over, and they're just like, and it's just like, I wonder if you flopped the set. You know what I mean? Like, So no, I fully believe in live reads 100%. I think they're definitely a thing.
I noticed. I saw you a couple of weeks ago. You were at our Card Player Poker Tour event at the Venetian, where you final tabled. Congratulations on that
Thank
one.
you. Thank you.
But I noticed that you are a table talker. You are not afraid to mix it up there. Get some verbal jabs in as well, and have a lot of fun at the table. I'm wondering, is that just because is it a release because you don't get to do that online?
Well, I'm like,
WSOP notoriously blocked their chat, so you can't even chat in the online.
I don't want to say it's a release for not being able to do it online, but I like to talk, like normally, outside of poker and at poker, but I'll say at poker, I think one thing, and it's not like I'm consciously saying to myself, like, I'm going to lower these people's guards around me, but I do feel like there's an edge to being a friendly, personal guy at the table, because it makes people less likely to want to call your shoves to bust you sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like, when you develop friendship equity with the people next to you, like, that's what I like to call it, when you're friendly, and it's like, and that can go both ways. Now, if you're friends with me, I might 3-bet you a little more, because, thinking you might think that I'm thinking that you might think,
it's a leveling war,
Yeah, so it's a whole thing, but
if you're in a 50-50 spot, if someone's calling or folding, maybe you want them to like you.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'll try to maneuver that, but it's hard against good players. But against like recreational players, it's a lot easier to talk them into a decision one way or the other. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give too many of my secrets away, but there's the one thing I do like to do is, and I do this completely subconsciously, is as the flop is being dealt, I like to say something to elicit a humorous response. If they smile, I don't know what it is, but people will smile, and then whatever they do after that, when they look at the flop, it's like more extreme than their normal. Because if they're normally, they're just standing there staring. right? There's no way to know one way or the other, like, if they're really concentrating, but they're laughing at something, then they have to think to themselves, okay, how do I go back to normal? And it's like, you know what I mean?
Overcorrect.
It's an overcorrection,
Wow.
yeah. So it's like a thing, for sure.
Using comedy to...
Yeah, a little accidental comedy. But it's not, I'm not like...
Is that what Scott Seaver's been doing all this time?
Yeah, I think, it definitely works for sure. Like, but it works both ways, right? I've seen it's backfired on me where I'm the one telling the funny story as the flop comes out, and it's on me, and I'm like, okay,
and you're like,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a hard balance, but overall, definitely a net positive for me to be a table talker. Plus, it's fun, you know. It's nice. Everybody has fun at my tables. Like, you can ask anybody that's at my tables for the most part. You know, there's gonna be some outliers, but I think. Like, man, it's got to be 30% of tables I'm at, somebody says, man, this is the most fun table I've ever been at, you know? I'm like...
Yeah, that's good.
I'm patting myself on the back here a bit, but I really do believe, like, when I come to the table, we have a party. You know what I mean? Like, I show it's a blast.
Well, you're a tournament player now, so you don't have this problem, but for cash game players, there is the issue of private games or even just getting invited to games.
Cash games are just a mess, dude. Yeah, so that's the whole thing is, like, when I started playing... tournaments, like, I wasn't going to be a tournament player. I don't even know how this happened. Like, I just watched a bunch of really high level face up poker replays on YouTube of tournaments, and I just like figured out what all the best people were doing, and then I like started studying that just like out of boredom, you know what I mean? And then I started playing the tournaments, and I was like, oh, I like these tournaments, like, and now I only play tournaments. It's like crazy. Like, I don't play any cash.
But it used to be like part of the skill level of cash games was getting invites.
Oh yeah,
and keeping the fish happy when you were so dominant. And nowadays it seems like that's coming back more.
Yeah,
because of all the private games and stuff, and like a lot of poker players are unhappy because they just want it to be about anybody could sit down and play. But no, there's a networking thing to it. You have to be a good hang at the table. You have to be able to...
Which is nice, you know? Yeah. I mean, I hate... Like, if I was to play cash right now and I went over and it's like €4 with hoodies, like, not saying anything, like, I don't want to play that game.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds terrible. That's the whole problem with cash right now is it's super... Like, at the 100 big blind level, too, it's really formulaic. Like, it's, you know, the ranges are... They're out there. Everyone knows the correct ranges. It's not, you know, you just study those ranges. You figure out pre-flop. Obviously, the post-flop stuff is where most of the edge comes in. But, man, it's like, to be a winning cash player, it's a very boring strategy for the most part. You know what I mean? Unless you're playing, like, 800,000 big blinds deep, then there's creativity. It's wild, you know. Even 300, 200 big blinds deep. But the standard 100 big blind cash games, they're very formulaic. The style to win is just a very boring style, which yeah, those players tend to be boring people too. So it's just, yeah, it's not fun.
So you win online circuit ring, you win player of the year.
Yep.
There was a couple close calls for some bracelets in there. I think a second and a third.
Yep.
How did those hurt?
So much pain. Well, to be honest,
I mean, what did you think about the bracelet at all? Did you come up going, I need a bracelet, or was it just
Oh, I grew up wanting a bracelet. You know what I mean? Like, I watched poker on TV growing up. Man, I idolized Hellmuth, Negreanu. Actually, you know, it's funny, that's not true. I didn't like Negreanu growing up. I like Negreanu now, which is so weird, and I can't stand Hellmuth. But, yeah, he's the worst, dude. I had a terrible meeting with him in person.
Really?
He one of the rudest things I've ever encountered in my life.
Okay.
We played a tournament. It was like a 3K or something like that. He came to the table. Everyone's looking because it's, you know, it's Hellmuth. Like, this is crazy. He sits down and I'm like the whole table's talking. Like, I'm generally the table captain. Obviously Hellmuth's here, so like I relinquish the role. You know what I mean? Like, Hellmuth can be the captain. Yeah. But he comes to the table and he just like I tried to give him his flowers, you know what I mean? I tried to be like, look, man, like, I've been watching you since I was, 12 years old. Like, I've been playing poker for 18. I'm like, give him this speech, and I'm like, it's like really an honor to play. And as I'm saying this, he just starts talking to somebody else. He just turns to somebody else, and I like look around the table, and I'm like, and I look at the guy, and the guy's looking at me, and he's like, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh, okay. And then I thought, okay, like, there's no cameras or anything. Like, this is just him. And then he ends up...
That's the thing. He is like this when there are no cameras.
And I've heard that, and people have told me before that he's not like this. That he's a nice guy whenever cameras aren't around. I haven't experienced that because that meeting, and then there was another time I was talking to my friend Ryan DePaulo, and he came up and butted into our conversation, and then just like literally just ignored me completely. Like didn't acknowledge anything I said. Like just talked to Ryan. Like,
oh man,
it was really awkward.
Hellmuth big timed you twice.
He literally did big time me twice, and like yeah, it is what it is. But like man, it rubbed me the wrong way because like I would never big time anyone. Like if you see me out, feel free to approach me. You know,
the way I've always thought about Phil is he's always in his own world. And often that is at the expense of others.
Yeah, wow, that's really well said.
But sometimes he's often, very kind if he's thinking about that, and that's what you hear from others and stuff. So
yeah, no, you're not wrong.
But at the same time, that's who he is.
My read was
it's the Phil Hellmuth. It's the Truman Show in his own head.
Wow,
all
yeah.
the time.
No, you're right. That is exactly what it is. That's 100% what it is. You're right. Yeah, it is. It's the Hellmuth show for sure.
And you're right with Daniel. Like, he never says no to an autograph request or a photo on the rail. And he's
nice guy.
He's always on. He's always, aware of his public relations.
Sure. I mean, he's just so much better for the game than Hellmuth. Hellmuth's just so bad for the game now. It's crazy. I don't know what happened. I mean,
but do you think, villains can be good for the game, right? People to root against?
Villains absolutely can be good for the game, but I'll give you an example. People would watch, and I haven't really been watching too much of the Hustler stuff, but people would watch, what's the guy's name? DJ Batman and Eric Pearson. Mm-hmm. They were willing to watch that and put eyes on it, but you notice Hellmuth went on the other show. What did he go on? He went on Live with the Bike or whatever. I don't know if you saw the ratings for that, but they were like horrible.
Yeah, and they were trashing him for buying in for so little. And...
yeah, it's like, what's happening here? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I mean, he's not entertaining TV at that level. You need to get him against a bunch of other old guys. You know what I mean? You can't put him in with a bunch of young people and have him angle them and like buy in for the minimum and do a bunch of crazy shit. And we're just like, God, this guy's where he's like,
right. He did that game with all the social media influencers, and
that was the worst.
Everyone's just like, how out of touch is he? But then here's there's a turning point happening in poker now where we need to find a way to attract 20-year-olds, right, who are just about to be 20 to 25-year-olds. How do you do that? The vloggers are doing a pretty good job.
Crushing it. They're the best.
Exactly. But then, does a Phil Hellmuth appeal to anybody in their 20s?
I couldn't imagine any way that a 25-year-old would be no, I don't think so.
Brian Ballsbuzz listening to this crying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I can't imagine Hellmuth being. I mean, he's just.
Well, I think he moves the needle, and for a big chunk of the population, but it's, we need to find other ways to target other new people.
Well, I think he needs to correct his behavior. What's funny is Phil Hellmuth could come out, and I think it's hilarious. He literally could come out and be the savior of the poker community. And what I mean by that is that Hellmuth could do, if you let me coach Hellmuth on what to say to the public, in a week, Hellmuth's beloved. Everyone's like, I don't know what happened to Phil, but he's made a turn. Like, you just apologize for your ridiculous behavior.
Yeah.
You become an ambassador of the game. Act like, you know how Garrett Adelstein acts? I mean, I know that Garrett's obviously embroiled in controversy with this.
It's not a good time for Garrett, but yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's the way that Garrett tweets and everything, everyone was just like, oh, we love you, Garrett. Like, it's amazing, Like, everything you say is so great. And it's because he picks the right things to say. And it's just, I mean, it's not hard, but I mean, Hellmuth he just can't help himself. He literally can't help himself.
It's interesting to me as a poker media member. Because baseball doesn't have this problem. Basketball does have this problem. Yep. But like a lot of sports, a lot of the players, they just say the scripted one-liners. You don't get to have podcasts like this with deep conversations.
Sure, yeah, of course.
But poker players don't have filters.
Yeah, we have none. Yeah, no,
very few have PR teams telling them what not to say.
No, that's fair. I mean, if anybody deserves one though, or needs a PR team, it's Hellmuth. Out of everyone, I mean,
he's got a personal psychologist living in the room with him. His wife.
She's a psychologist?
Yeah, she's a psychologist.
Holy shit, no wonder he's crazy. Yeah. This is her fault for sure.
Well, maybe she just saw it as the ultimate challenge.
Yeah, either way, I mean, my God, Godspeed to both of them. Holy shit.
It's a 16-time bracelet winner, head of the WSOP.
I'm pretty jealous of the 16 bracelets, man.
Yeah. What do you think you end up with?
What do I think I end up with? God.
Especially now there's so many online events.
17, obviously. I mean, I don't know. Fuck. How many do I actually end up with? I don't know. I'd say average probably like 8 or something like that.
Okay.
Before I die. I hope more, but like 8. I think 8's reasonable. I'm 32. Let's say I have an average of 35 good poker years left. Let's just say an average.
Yeah.
30. And when we say good, I mean...
You think you'll be performing well at 67?
No.
How old is Seidel? He's still crushing.
I don't know. Don't offend Seidel, though.
I mean, he's the GOAT.
Seidel is 31 years old.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know. 54, I'm going to guess.
Yeah. And he's still at the top level.
He's an animal, dude. No, you're right. Yeah.
But most people fall. Dora obviously can still hang, and he's...
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, no, I think... No, my brain will be rotted by then. 67, my brain will be mad rotted. Yeah. Too much plaque and fucking drugs. Yeah, there's no way.
But 8 bracelets, that's a great career, you know?
It was a good career. I did great.
Yeah. That's a Hall of Fame career, 8 bracelets?
8 bracelets is a Hall of Fame career, yes. It 100% is. Yeah.
All right, well, we end the podcast with some rapid-fire questions.
Okay.
If you're ready to go. Sorry,
Sure.
I know I've taken up a lot of your time already.
No, it's fine.
What was the best shot you ever took?
The best shot?
Yeah.
Man. 2 minutes left, down by 3. No, the best shot I ever took. I don't know if I've ever taken a shot that went well.
Really?
Yeah.
Every time you put too much for the bankroll and it went badly?
I feel like it always has gone bad. Let me think about this.
Well, there's a good lesson for the listeners out there.
No. I don't want. Listen, you should take shots at whatever. If you see me take a shot, come play. No. Oh God, what have I done? Yeah, shot taking. I guess the best shot taking I've ever taken has to be something on WSOP.com. Somehow I went from playing $5 tournaments to 500s. I don't know what point in there I decided that it's time to play them, but whenever I decided to do that, that's when the shot taking went well.
Are you disciplined now? Are you very strict with your bankroll now?
No. Now it's now we're just Before we were fairly strict.
Okay.
Now we just do whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not out there playing too many 10Ks or 25Ks. Mm-hmm. When I say that, I am pretty. I still sell a decent amount of action. If I play a $2,000 tournament, I sell 30% of it. I'm pretty conservative with that. I sell at a markup, obviously, but yeah, no. I don't really it's not. Yeah, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it without sounding like a dick.
What's your most prized possession? You do have the bracelet and your rings over there.
Okay. Well, the dogs aren't my possessions. I don't own them.
That's true.
But where else?
They are in your care, and they are prized.
My most prized possession, I guess it's my bracelet, but it might be my Player of the Year ring.
Okay. Yeah, because there's so many bracelets.
Yeah, if I had to save one thing in this house, I think it would have to be
that Roomba.
Yeah, that Roomba's hella expensive, dog. It's a $550 Roomba. I think my Player of the Year ring. Yeah. Wow, is that really my most prized
Would that even
possession?
burn in a fire? I think you could leave it and just pick it up later.
Well said.
It might be a little tart, full
well
of
said.
ash.
I'm sure the gold will be melted, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm gonna grab it on the way out.
If you could download one skill instantly, like in the Matrix, what would you choose?
Download any skill instantly in the Matrix. Now, does telepathy count as a skill?
Every time I ask this question, some people take it as superpowers, and I just let them do it.
I'm going to go no superpowers and just actual skills.
Something that a human has done before. You get it instantly.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Oh, man, probably. Oh, wow. Organization or cleanliness, one of the two. I don't know which one. Whatever makes me able to do the chores my wife wants me to do easily.
Okay. You just need more organization skills. You could Marie Kondo, right? Isn't she the one who does all the Netflix show with the organization and
the name rings a bell, but I'm not. Yeah.
What if?
No. What I need is.
What if that lady that I just said is a criminal or something, and I just.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Was that name doesn't? I think Griselda Blanco. Is that what you said?
Oh man.
No, Either that or maybe I don't know if there's a way hypnosis is technically a skill, right?
Yeah.
Could I hypnotize someone to clean my house for me? You know what I mean? The end goal is a clean home. You know what I mean?
Just having the power of suggestion would be very powerful for poker as well.
Oh wow, yeah. Again, now the power of suggestion would be so powerful. Wow. Yeah, I guess okay.
Jedi mind trick into folding people?
Yeah, humorous answer is something to do with appeasing my wife for cleaning. Actual answer would probably be some sort of some sort of like, you know, like how the FBI guys are like, I can read your body and everything.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can look at you. You know, like,
Oh, Joe Navarro. That's the
like
poker
some
guy,
Joe
yeah.
Navarro type stuff, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one.
Any nicknames growing up or now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar.
Well, Brock Lesnar is your
I know.
online name.
I know. Let's see. Yeah, so it was actually funny. I went to a preparatory school for college, but it was high school, obviously. But it was like a Worcester preparatory school, and I went in on the first day. I was like 14, and I walked in, and you had to go to it was like a orientation, so it was like an assembly room, and everyone had assigned seats, and I go to my class leader. It's my first day in this new school, and I walk up and everyone's looking at me I'm like, I don't know if I'm late or what's going on, but like I'm walking in, there's like 100 students, 150 students, whatever, and I'm walking in, and everyone's just staring at me, and like people are talking. I'm like, what is going on? Like it was like noticeably odd, and like the woman on stage is looking at me and everything, and I sit down next to the person. I sit down and I look at the guy next to me, and he looks like my twin. Like, we're sitting next to each other. His name was Will. So for the first 2 years of that school, everyone called me Bill. And I hated it. I was too, it might sound crazy, but I was super shy and afraid to speak up when I was younger. So I, like, didn't say anything or anything, and everyone called me Bill for, like, 2 years.
You're just like, yeah, I guess I'm Bill now.
Yeah, and then at Dover Downs, they called me Ice Baby.
Ice Baby?
Yeah, because I was cold as ice, but I was smooth like a baby's skin.
There you go. Ice Baby. Did you give yourself that one?
Yeah, I did. It was that exact thing I just said. I said that once at the table, and then, you know, on the Bravo, you can change your name. So one of the dealers changed my name to Ice Baby. So, like, I'd literally go and get a card, and it would just say Ice Baby on it. It was ridiculous, yeah.
And Brock Lesnar was just because...
Brock Lesnar, I was high, and I wanted a funny name, and I was playing $5 tournaments. So I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I pretended to be Brock Lesnar in $5 tournaments when you could still type?
Yeah.
And then you can't change your name. So, so I'm Brock Lesnar now.
He's not even fighting anymore. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy.
There's people who are like, who's Brock Lesnar? There's going to be kids now who's like, who's Brock Lesnar? And you have to explain it like, he's a fighter. And you'd be like, oh, do you like fighting? And you'd be like, no.
Yeah, no, I've done this many times. I've done it. Wow, wait a second. Wow, that's crazy. So I am a MMA fan. I love UFC, but I'm not a wrestling fan. So it's like a thing.
Right, he started at the...
Yeah, I was a wrestling fan originally, but like not when Lesnar wasn't around.
When I was a kid, I was a huge wrestling fan. But this was like the Tito Santana days, you know, like...
How old are you?
Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I'm 38.
Oh, wow.
So I got
you were watching like
6 years
ECW and stuff.
No, but this was before ECW. I didn't even know what ECW was. I was already out by then.
Oh, wow.
This was before that, like...
Oh,
Jake
wow.
the Snake Roberts.
I met Jake the Snake.
You met Jake the Snake Roberts?
Yeah, I met Jake the Snake Roberts.
Was it like a sad situation? Like,
I don't remember.
apparently these wrestlers, they don't have great end games.
Yeah, no, it was a sad thing. It was in like a... Yeah, it was sad. It was in like a convention center thing. Like,
yeah.
And I'm saying that now. I'm starting to think it might have been Superfly Snuka that I met. I can't remember.
Superfly.
I can't remember which one it is, but I got them. And then somebody signed something. I got a signed mask, and I'll never forget it. They wore this mask in the ring, and then they took it off and they signed it for me and gave it to me. It was like some luchador mask, and my mom put it on like 15 years later and vomited immediately. Like, she was like, "Oh, what is that smell?"
15 years?
Yeah, I said 15 years. It might have been 20. It was a lot.
Oh my
yeah.
God! I mean, the smell sticks with it.
Yeah, it's not great. Love you, Mom.
What was your largest non-poker wager?
Largest non-poker wager?
Any prop bets? Any big sports bets?
I'm trying to. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've wagered some money on sports. I got. Yeah, I've wagered some money on sports. I feel like Rick James when he's like, "Yeah, I'll put my feet on Charlie Murphy's couch." Yeah, no, probably like $5,000 on sports, something like that. Yeah.
So you don't go too hard in the pits.
No, never. No pits for me. No. Only plus EV sports bets. Don't ask how I know they're plus EV. Just know they are.
Best swap or piece you've ever had of anybody?
I swapped with John Dokler, Art Vandelay online. We swapped in a $1,050 tournament on ACR. We swapped 33% each other.
Wow, that's a
girthy swap.
Yeah.
Or it might have been 40. It was something obscene. And then I can't remember exactly what happened. He had 2 tickets, and we emailed ACR to give me one of the tickets, but ACR didn't respond. So he had to play both bullets, and he had to sell me. I think I might not have even played. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I ended up just buying it at face, and he won the tournament for 210.
Wow.
He had to give me like 60 some. Yeah, maybe it was like 190. It was tremendous.
That's a great timing trade.
It's my lifetime high score. It's my swap with Vandalay. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
That's great. Okay, okay. The weirdest place you've ever played poker for money?
Weirdest place I've ever played poker for money. Ooh, that's a good one. Probably Brad's house. Fuck. Let me think about this. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Brad's other house probably. Both of them, the two places I'm thinking are both owned by the same person. Weirdest place. There's got to be a crazier thing. I played poker somewhere else for sure, right?
But this was a scene. This home game.
Yeah. Yeah. This is not, it's some non-podcast material happened at that home during the time. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah. Probably one of those. Yeah. I don't know. I played online in like some ridiculous places. Like, I don't know.
You ever have like an online emergency where you have to drive somewhere real fast or?
Oh yeah, but maybe not like an emergency, but like, I've definitely had to get in the car with my laptop and like have someone drive me somewhere because I've like forgot something, or done. I can't remember any situations specifically, but I know the bracelet I won. My bracelet. I was over at my buddy Jeff's house and Jeff Madsen, and Jeff Madsen was playing EDM music, but it was like. It was not my vibe on this day. I was bluffing off all my fucking chips, and it was just the music's like and I'm just like, yeah, we got bluff. You know what I mean? Like it was like,
I'm playing too fast.
Yeah, and I'm like Jeff, we got to turn on some different. He's like, I got you. And he turned on like heavy metal, and it was like break, and I just got in my car. I was like, I'm out of here. I left and I came here. There was like 60 people left, and then I had 2 tournaments left. One I was really deep, and then the bracelet I was like short stacked in, and then the one I was really deep I lost. Like, as soon as I got here, I was so pissed. I'm like, God damn it, I left Jeff's for no reason. Yeah. And then I stayed here and won the bracelet.
There you go.
I was like, oh, thank God I got out of there.
Would have been a crazy environment with him over your shoulder, freaking out.
Oh, yeah. No, so the last time when I got second in that PLO event, I was at his house, too. When we got down to, like 7 people. He just literally was me in his living room by myself. Every other person in the house went to their respective rooms and watched it on stream.
Yeah, leave him alone. He's in the
zone. Like it's not. Yeah, I don't know if it's the vibe I'm giving off. Like, get away from me, or I don't know. But yeah.
Headphones on at the table? Yes or no?
No, never.
Yeah. Who was your celebrity crush growing up?
Celebrity crush growing up. The Pink Power Ranger. When I was really young.
Amy Jo Johnson.
That's the one. I remember I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I remember I had, I gotta say, my memory at this age is, I can remember everything, apparently. I can't remember anything from yesterday, but I remember being in my uncle's pool, and my mom gave me a fake tattoo, like the tattoos.
Your mom sounds so good in this podcast. Coolest mom.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, she's the best. She's the tits. And she got me a pink Power Ranger. It was like a Power Ranger temporary tattoo thing, but I took the pink one and I put it on my hand. I remember sitting in the pool, kissing my hand until I fell asleep.
So fell asleep in the pool? That's not good.
I was like laying on a thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. After that, I don't know. Kate Beckinsale in Underworld, probably.
Kate Beckinsale and Click. Kate Beckinsale and anything.
Yeah. Underworld though. I think that's a lot of my Oh, Belle from Beauty and the Beast was apparently my
first animated version.
Yeah, when I was like 3 years old, 2 years old, my mom said I used to carry around Belle as a thing, and I had a crush on her. So I think I have a type, like the pale brown hair, blue eyes,
and animated.
Yeah, and animated apparently. Yeah, hentai is life, bro.
If you could pick the entertainment for the Super Bowl halftime show, what would you choose?
Something super trolly.
Yeah, that's what I always ask people. Like, they always think, like, what would the fans like? No,
definitely
what would
not.
Make the craziest show?
Yeah, like a burlesque show or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like drag queens.
Just have someone come out and like do spoken word poetry. Just piss everyone off.
Oh, exactly. Oh, yeah, or like just Oh man. Yeah, just something to piss people off. Not like a full blown pissing off, but like just something where everyone's just like, what just happened? Oh, you know what actually would be sick is that like Tenacious D came out. Tenacious D would be a pretty sick. That'd be a pretty sick halftime show. Like actually, yeah.
I think they would do a good job, and they would know enough people for cameos and stuff. They would.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Tenacious D would be a sick halftime show. I don't know where I thought that one up from. I just like can imagine Jack Black popping out and just being like, "We're ready to rock," you know.
Okay, you're gonna see it next Super Bowl, and then
I'm
not gonna give you any credit.
You're welcome. No big deal.
Are you superstitious at all?
No.
Okay.
Like I might pretend to be occasionally.
I did notice in that documentary you watched where you were calling for cards when you were online.
Yeah.
You're like, no diamond or, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you do that often?
Every time that I watch an All-In that I'm involved in, I, in my head, just say the cards that they win with 100% of the time. Just so, like, the second it comes, I'm not like, is that it? Like, I literally just, like, diamond, deuce, 6, diamond, deuce, 6, and then it's, like, a 9. And I'm like, that's going to be a win for me, for sure, So, I always... If I call for cards, when was I calling for cards? I was saying it out loud. Was it in a big spot?
You were just on camera, and there was you were all in on a turn, I think, and you were saying like no diamond or something like that. I wonder if you did that often.
No, I think that was like heads up to win a tournament, right? Yeah, I think I was just like, I think Mike asked me, Mike Bailey, he's the one that did the documentary Poker Films. Check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, go check that out, guys. There's 2 of them I saw, at least. Maybe there's more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but with me it's 2. There's Player of the Year, and then he did Bracelet Hunt, which is like, he followed a bunch of people who went to try to win bracelets live. He followed their final table. It's like me, Kyle Mahalik, Jeff Mattson, Jamie Kerstetter, Asher Conniff. Asher's and Jamie's are the ones being done now, but the other 3 are done. And it followed me. I final tabled a live event, and then didn't get the bracelet. I got 8th, but
spoilers.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, you can Google it, whatever. When it says when you watch the podcast and it says 1-time bracelet winner, and
it wasn't
I want an online one. Yeah. So, but that is at the end of the bracelet hunt one. It's like an addendum. It's like you can't win a bracelet any day.
Yeah.
But some days you can. Exactly. It's just like me winning a bracelet online. Yeah. I'm so cool, man.
Any phobias?
Phobias, yeah, spiders.
Okay.
I mean, like small spiders, bees. I just don't like basically anything that my mom's afraid of. She's bestowed upon me.
Passed it on.
Yeah, this is her fault for sure. She hates bees, hates spiders, wasps, anything like that. So, like as a child, like if any of them came near her, she would scream and run. So we would scream and run. You know what I mean?
It's weird. My mom was scared of frogs, and I'm scared of frogs. Although when I see a frog, I don't let it. I don't like to let people know because it's such a ridiculous thing to jump on a table.
The fact that you're saying out loud right now is brave.
But like I will act really brave, but inside I'm like staring it down, going. If
what do you
that
think?
Thing even flinches, I'm running.
Yeah, it just looks weird to you, right?
It's just the texture, the fact that they jump faster than you think.
That's exactly the reason why I don't like spiders.
They could be on you
so fast. Oh, I'm familiar. Me and frogs. We've been around the block before.
You've had a history of frogs.
There used to be this place, I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8, we used to go to called Emily's Creek. It was just a creek outside someone's house.
Yeah.
And we'd go in there and there'd be toads and frogs everywhere. I'm familiar with their speed.
I'm from Miami, where we didn't have, swamp things.
Yeah.
We just went in the ocean and had to deal with jellyfish.
Man of warts and stuff. Yeah, that sucks, but... No, like frogs, yeah. I could see that because the whole thing with spiders for me is a tarantula doesn't bother me because it's big. I can see where it's moving. I'm familiar. It's the small fuckers that like a guy gets in my shirt. That's the thing that's happened to me a couple times is I've gotten a spider in my shirt and that's just like...
The ones you swallow in your sleep?
Not actually a true thing. Complete myth.
Really?
Yeah. I Googled it like 2 days ago to prove this to somebody. But yeah, it's a myth. We don't actually swallow them in our sleep. Thank God.
Yeah, at least it's in your sleeping.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you collect anything?
Do I collect anything? Fucking rings and bracelets, my boy. No, just trophies for poker. That's it. Do I collect anything? No, not right now, not really. Not that I can think of, at least. Maybe glass. I collect some glass art.
Okay. Glass art.
Yeah, glass art. Yeah.
Longest session ever. See, tournaments is easier to get off,
Yeah, I don't think longer than maybe 14 hours.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, 16 hours max.
Staying fresh.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a session longer than that. Maybe Maybe cash before. No, never longer. Nah, never. I don't think I ever played a cash session longer than like 10 or 12 hours either. Everybody I know is always like, I played a 26-hour session with Chip Reese and Andy Ratfink Magoo. You know what I mean? And they robbed me at the end.
I haven't heard the name Ratfink Magoo in quite some time.
Yeah, exactly. It's not many people know about him. You know.
Do you like telling people you're a professional poker player?
Yeah. You
get in the Uber and they say, "What do you do?" And you tell them.
Oh, if I get in the Uber, I might troll them though. I might tell them I'm a drug dealer or something. You know what I mean? Me, I dabble.
What you need?
Yeah, what's good? No, in an Uber I tell them. I haven't gotten an Uber in a while, but I have told Uber drivers multiple times, and it's always a conversation, and it's always like, I play 1-2 at Palace Station, and I know a bluff raise when I see one. It's like, yeah. Hell yeah, dog. No, I don't mind that. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's the can of worms that I opened.
You obviously crush on WSOP. Was there a nemesis that you have on that site?
Man, yeah, Pollux, I guess. Pollux
Krista,
for sure. Krista, yeah. She, I would say she's my nemesis for sure. Just because she was like the whole player of the year.
Pushing you, right?
Yeah. So,
but do you actually have a lot of confrontations on the tables?
Like
how often do you guys see each other?
Every day, yeah. So much confrontations at the tables. So much confrontations at the tables. And she holds her own.
Well, there you go. Krista Gifford, there's your shout out. Let's see here. I have a few more questions, then I'll let you go. Any near-death experiences?
I almost walked in front of a car on a highway one time. That was about it, I think.
Why were you walking on the highway?
Well, there's in Ocean City, the main road is just called Coastal Highway.
Oh, okay.
It's called Coastal Highway. It's 35 miles an hour. But it's you walk across and you're in the middle, and then you keep going, and then I don't know. I think the car was silent, or I was drunk or something. I don't know. The car was silent. Yeah, I don't know. I was probably drunk. I can't remember. I can just vividly remember.
How close?
Close.
Yeah.
Close enough that I walked out, they beeped, and I stepped back, and I was like, oh, shit. I almost just got fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost got wrecked.
I always think about that, that time it was your fault, okay. But,
yeah, no, totally my fault.
You could just be walking on the sidewalk and somebody just slumps over.
Get dusted. Yeah.
And, the trust we have in vehicles.
Insanity.
In
Insanity.
this society,
Trust me, I know.
Crazy.
Trust me, I know. I'm trying to think, do any other near-death experiences? I don't think so.
That's good. What is your bold prediction for poker's future?
PLO. No, not really. I mean, probably, but maybe not. I don't know. Bold prediction for poker's future. I don't know. I think poker's going to have issues when things like Neuralink become available.
Okay.
I think that's actually going to cause issues. I'd like to see 4-color decks. I'd love if we just had some 4-color decks live. That'd be so sick. Yeah, I'm trying to think maybe bomb pot tournaments would be cool. That's my bold prediction. Bomb pot tournaments are going to become a thing.
So everybody just get to the flop right away.
Right away.
Forcing post-flop play.
Yep, PLO, 4-card, double board bomb pot. Everyone, 8 people see a flop. 8, that's math. That's how that works. 10, 8, yeah, that's enough. You can do that. Yep.
Yeah.
2 boards, 2 flops. On you, sir.
Replace the main event.
Everyone antes. It should. I played one double board bomb pot tournament at MGM. I chopped it, and it was the best tournament I've ever played in my life. I'm not even joking. It's so much better than regular poker. It's than Hold'em.
Is it super gambly though, or is there still a lot of strategy to it?
No, it's hilarious because you think it's super gambly, right? But it's really it's like you're playing high low because it's a split pot game. Mm-hmm. It's just instead of a high low split, it's a top bottom split. So what happens is you get a bunch of people who have no idea what they're doing, drawing for one board when they're dead on the second board and they're losing on the
right. So you want a two-way hand, but
yeah.
You also
but
if you have a one-way hand, it has to be locked, and you have to have more than one person in the pot, right, to make it
right. Yeah, but basically what you're saying is accurate. Yeah. It's basically you need to lock up one board, or you have to have a strong two-way. You could have I don't know. You know what I mean? You could have I don't know.
Pillow.
You can have anything. Yeah, you can have 7 pair on top and 12 pair on the bottom. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have the nuts. But moral story is, there's so much dead money in the middle from people chasing, like, one draw on one board where they're drawing completely dead on the other board. So, no, that's that game has a big skill edge, I think. And it's so fun. Like, everyone loves it. You know?
Yeah, I used to feel the same way about double flop Hold'em. They used to spread that in South Florida where I'm from. I was like, this should take off. It's just 2 flops, communal turn and river, 1 pot. I'm sorry, 2 pots, but like you can win both. There's more scooping because the turn and river are communal for both boards.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Let me think about this for a second. So it's 2 flops.
Yeah.
And then a communal turn and river. Wow.
Right, so if you drill the turn and river, you could scoop, you know. Or if it completes,
I think the reason that game is worse is because it's Hold'em, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that game's good for the house.
It was.
The house crushes.
It was played limit, so I'm pretty sure that's why.
It was limit too? Yeah. I mean, I'd play that game. I don't know how you know. I would play that right now. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, that game sounds kind of fun. Like,
well, that to me is poker. Once people solve something, they move on to something else, and then that becomes popular until that gets solved. You know, you saw it with Chinese poker, and
no, I like that because that's one thing about No Limit. I don't know if did you see the stuff that came out with the new bot?
No.
There's a new heads up bot. I can't remember its name, but it's
how new? Like
brand new.
Right?
Just in the last week, I saw it on Twitter. Someone was talking about it. Chris Brewer and Kevin Rabichow were talking about it, and Rabichow was talking about it, and he was like explaining how good it was and how it beats all these humans and everything. But then buried in there, I didn't even notice this until my buddy pointed it out. It beat the other heads up bot. So this is the new king of bots, right?
Right.
It beat the new heads up bot by 20.3 big blinds over 100 hands, which is like a good win rate for an online player might be like 4 or 6 big blinds per 100. Right. Just in general, just winning.
Is just flawless play.
Yeah, like this is just, it's 20.1 big blinds above what the other one would win.
At this point, you're overcoming variance.
Oh, it's absurd. Yeah, but it's doing all these crazy stuff. So even though we continually move forward with even though we're at such a high point in poker, obviously we got solvers where 10 years ago people weren't even 3-betting ace jack, you know what I mean? Now we have solvers that tell you what percentage to do everything. I mean, even everything just is getting better and better and better, and there's it's just crazy.
Well, it also shows the room for improvement in humans, right?
Yeah.
There's still so much higher levels to get to.
Well, that's why I'm concerned about things like Neuralink and stuff, just because it's and not Neuralink specifically, but things like that. Any sort of cognitive, any sort of cyberpunk enhancements that if that ends up being a thing, and actually, you're taking PEDs for poker, which is just,
Right, you probably have to step through some sort of special metal detector or upgrade detector before you get into a tournament.
It's actually crazy, to think about. I mean, it's who knows what the future's going to hold, but...
Well, if you have to do it to get on a plane.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, shit.
We end the podcast the same way every time with a question from the random question generator.
Okay.
Would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos for life?
Okay, so I'm going to go with sushi. I assume the caveats of this are I get the best tacos and the best sushi, right?
Yeah, it's unlimited.
Yeah, so unlimited, literally. I mean, for me, man, here's the thing. I gotta take sushi. I would get sick of it for sure. I'm in a sick of sushi phase right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I love sushi. I went 4 times in 2 weeks, and now I'm sick of it. But I know my wife loves sushi.
It's a high burnout rate for sure.
Yeah, now...
But you do get a variety, high dollar item too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like there's no caveats to selling the product, so it sounds like I'm pretty wealthy. You know what I mean? I'll take unlimited sushi, and me and Nobu are gonna have some conversations. Yeah,
that's true.
I'm gonna cheat. If it was just for me, I can't give these away, I have to eat them, I would take tacos. It's the easiest call of all time.
My thought on it was there are plenty of all you can eat sushi places, but not a lot of all you can eat taco places.
That's true. That's true.
You get the experience of unlimited sushi, whenever you want.
Yeah, but I can do unlimited tacos every day now.
Yeah.
Something tells me that also will get old fast.
You also die faster, I think, if you eat tacos over sushi every day.
Fuck. Yeah. I didn't think about that shit.
Anyway, good choice. Good choice with sushi, Solid choice. Mike, thank you so much for inviting me into your home and coming on the podcast. That was great.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
That's it. That is the show. Thank you once again to Mike for having me over and for coming on the podcast. We actually recorded this interview just a few days ago on Tuesday, and the very next day he won an event down at the Venetian. So you know that the podcast Run Good is a real thing. You can find Mike on Twitter at Mike Holtz Poker, and you can find us on Twitter at Card Player Media. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave a rating and a review. Until next time, thanks for listening.